Welcome back to Energy Bites, where we talk about all things energy for a happier and healthier life. Today we're diving into something that touches all of us, the everyday challenges that can feel like obstacles but are actually opportunities for growth. Let's start with some simple questions. Have you ever been stuck in a traffic jam, had an argument, or faced a repeating pattern with people draining your energy and wondered, why is this happening to me? Well, what if I told you that these seemingly frustrating moments might be the universe's way of teaching you a life lesson? In this video, I'm going to identify 3 common obstacles that we all have faced and reveal how these can be turned into powerful truths or life lessons that contribute to our growth and development. And make sure you stick around till the end, because I'm also going to explain how I personally see life lessons, which may just transform how you see life itself. And I'll give you a hint, it has something to do with a treasure hunt. Let's get started. Life lessons are experiences or situations that provide us with insights, helping us grow emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. They often show up when we least expect them, wrapped in challenges or discomfort. But their purpose is profound. They guide us to evolve, align with our higher selves, and unlock new levels of understanding about who we are and how we interact with the world. Think of life lessons as tools handed to you by the universe. Each one equips you with wisdom that makes you more resilient, compassionate, and connected. And when we start seeing challenges as lessons rather than obstacles, life transforms into a journey of discovery and empowerment. Let's start with something we've all experienced, being stuck in a traffic jam. So you're in a rush, but the cars ahead of you aren't moving and traffic is at a standstill. Frustration builds, and maybe you're thinking, this is wasting my time. Or maybe you're panicking because you're going to be late for an important meeting or event. But here's the deeper lesson. Traffic is a practice in patience. It's an opportunity to let go of control and trust the timing of life. Maybe this pause is protecting you from something ahead, or perhaps is reminding you to slow down and be present in the moment. Now, I've experienced both of these. Once I was preparing for a long drive to go on a family vacation. Things were a mess and we were delayed leaving the house. And to top things off, traffic was terrible. So it turns out, if everything went smoothly and according to our original plan, we would have been right in the middle of a major accident on the road we were going to take. So sometimes delays and even traffic jams could be a blessing in disguise. Another example is when my house sale fell through, and I was forced to spend over 4 hours in the car each day just to take my children to and from school. Now this lasted for over 2 years, and I don't have to tell you how frustrated I felt with these time-wasting journeys. But months later, when I was finally able to see past this and let go of the frustration, I learned to see the positives and make use of the time instead. When my kids were in the car with me, I'd see this as time when we could just talk and spend time together. And when I was alone, I would use the time to do breath work or some slow, deep abdominal breathing. I'd also listen to podcasts and spend time to reflect on the day and even reflect on my own thoughts and actions. Now let's talk about arguments, and I'm sure we've all had our fair share. Whether it's with a partner, family member, or colleague, conflicts can be emotionally draining. But beneath the surface, arguments often reveal areas where we're holding on to unmet needs, boundaries that need reinforcing, or parts of ourselves that crave healing. The spiritual lesson here is emotional awareness. Arguments can teach us how to express our feelings more authentically, listen with compassion, and grow in our relationships. Instead of reacting, try asking yourself, what is this situation teaching me about myself or the other person? Now, I'm not going to mention to you who I'm talking about, but I used to have the same argument over and over again with this person. Not only was it draining, but it was also very frustrating and tiring to be doing the same thing again and again. But one day I finally realized that their words were actually mirroring my feelings. Everyone has the right to the emotions they have and feel, and there's always a cause behind their words and actions. So if you go beyond how things are affecting you, something that I couldn't do for a very long time, then you may find that you'll have a different perspective that will shift how you see and respond to this person. Finally, let's talk about boundaries. Have you ever noticed a pattern of attracting people who drain your energy or take too much from you? Maybe it feels like the same scenario keeps happening, but with different faces. This is the universe's way of teaching you about boundaries. It's a call to recognize your worth and honor your energy. When you set and enforce boundaries, you're telling the world, I value myself and I deserve reciprocal relationships. If you have a repeating pattern and you seem to encounter the same types of people over and over again, then pay attention to this. If you keep repeating your thoughts, words, and actions, you're not going to get a different outcome. What this means is this: something needs to change, which, by the way, has nothing to do with right and wrong or who's at fault. This has everything to do with understanding that changing your inputs will result in a different outcome. So maybe this means that you stop blaming and trying to make the other person feel guilty or admit they're wrong. Maybe this means you need to step back and try to see things from a different perspective. Or it could be something entirely different, where your lesson is to draw clear boundaries and start standing up for yourself. This is what happened to me when I noticed that I was attracting the same types of people into my life. It was obvious what was happening, but I didn't know how to stop it. It wasn't until I reflected and realized that I wasn't the victim, but it was me that was allowing people to mistreat me. And the only way for me to learn to take control and find my treasure of self-respect and discernment was for the universe to keep sending these types of people into my life who would abuse my trust and kindness. I like to look at life like a treasure hunt. Although we're all on the same hunt, each person has a different starting point, a different map, and a different order to find their treasures. Within this treasure hunt, we all need to find and experience the full range of emotions, such as love, joy, and happiness, all the way down to anger, shame, and guilt. With each emotion to experience, there are life lessons that need to play out so that these emotions can be fully felt and understood. For example, to experience jealousy, it may be necessary to be presented with the lesson of selflessness, where you allow yourself to be happy for someone else and step aside for them to have the spotlight. Or if you need to feel guilt, perhaps the lesson of honesty is required here, for you to experience having to lie to a loved one, and finally learning that being truthful would have been the better option. We all have different maps, and as I said, it's important to understand that no two journeys are the same, and everyone has different starting points and a different order to find their treasures. So this means that we can't judge anyone else for where they are in their journey. Just because you may have found and mastered the lesson of generosity doesn't necessarily mean that you're ahead of someone else who you just met who struggles with giving. It's possible that they found far more treasures that you have yet to seek and encounter, and they just happen to be working on the ones you've already found. In order for lessons to work out, it's necessary for you to meet and interact with people who have different skills, treasures, and journeys. This is how you best learn your lessons. For example, if you're learning how to set boundaries because you've mastered generosity, but still have yet to learn more about receiving, then who better to learn this from than a taker? It's important to move out of your comfort zone and expand your circle and not just stick to people who are just like you. Life is full of lessons, and they aren't just one-time experiences. They come in layers. You might learn about love, for example, but this lesson isn't just about one kind of love. It could be about self-love, the love for close family members, romantic love, unconditional love, or even universal love. Emotions are intricate and complex, and they evolve as you grow. Each emotion carries its own energy and frequency, which means that it's not just about understanding them once. It's about revisiting them, deepening your connection, and continuing to grow through them. Think of it like tuning into a frequency. The more you experience in emotion, the more in tune you become with it. It's not a matter of simply checking off a box, but of constantly revisiting the emotion and refining your understanding and experience of it. And here's the thing. Sometimes you need to face these lessons multiple times to fully understand them. The more we encounter an emotion or situation, the more layers we peel back until we truly understand it. So learning a lesson once isn't always enough. It requires repetition and growth. Now let's touch on something deeper without going too far down the rabbit hole. And this is the idea that life lessons are not always limited to one lifetime. The truth is, mastering one lesson can take years or even an entire lifetime. And it's also the case that some people never fully learn certain lessons just in a single life. You might know someone who refuses to apologize or admit they're wrong. These patterns can become deeply ingrained in their character over time, making it a difficult lesson for them to learn. But here's the thing. Everyone is on their own unique journey. Your life experiences and the lessons you're meant to learn are shaped by the roles you play. For instance, I play the role of a mother, a daughter, a wife, an entrepreneur, and many others. These roles shape my experiences and the lessons I encounter. But for someone else, maybe in a different situation, like someone growing up in a very challenging environment, their lessons might look vastly different. They might be focusing on survival rather than personal growth, or learning lessons that seem outside of my own experience. The point is, we're all on a different part of our treasure hunt. No one person is meant to learn every single lesson in one lifetime. Each person's journey is unique, and they are discovering their own treasures at their own pace. Some lessons might stay hidden from us, and that's perfectly okay. We're each finding a small portion of our own treasures right now, and that's all we need. Life lessons are like hidden treasures within our everyday struggles. When we shift our perspective and see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles, we can unlock powerful insights that help us grow emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Delays like traffic jams teach us to surrender control and trust that everything is unfolding in divine timing. Arguments reveal unhealed wounds and invite us to practice empathy, self-reflection, and conscious communication. And repeating negative patterns with people draining our energy is the universe's way of urging us to set stronger boundaries and recognize our value. By embracing these lessons, we gain wisdom, resilience, and clarity, making life a journey of continuous discovery and empowerment. Instead of resisting challenges, we need to learn from them, grow through them, and ultimately transform our lives for the better. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who could use a little spiritual perspective in their life. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for my weekly thoughts and inspiration. So what everyday challenge has taught you a powerful lesson? Write it in the comments below. I'd love to continue this conversation with you and hear about how you've overcome and grown from a life lesson you've faced. Until next time, stay aligned, stay empowered, and always stay inspired.